Have you ever looked at someone wildly successful and wondered, what's their secret? Why do some people seem to rise above the noise, break through the obstacles, and create lives others only dream about? Is it luck? Is it talent? Or is there something else, something hidden, that we can learn, copy, and apply in our own lives? Here's the truth. Success leaves clues. The wealthiest entrepreneurs, the greatest athletes, the most inspiring leaders in America, they're not operating by magic. They're following patterns, habits, and mindsets that anyone can study and replicate. The difference is, they choose to do the things most people overlook, avoid, or ignore. Let me ask you this. If I gave you a treasure map, would you follow it? Of course you would. You'd study every line, every mark, every hint, because you know that map leads to gold. Well, success is no different. The habits of America's most successful people are the map. Every clue they've left behind, every decision they've made, every routine they live by, it all points the way to the treasure. The only question is, are you willing to follow it? Think about people like Warren Buffett. At one point, he was just a young kid from Omaha with no special connections. Today, he's one of the wealthiest men alive. What set him apart? Habits. A lifelong obsession with reading. A dedication to discipline. The willingness to think long-term when others looked for quick wins. His success didn't come from luck. It came from patterns anyone can learn. Or consider Serena Williams. She didn't wake up one morning as the greatest tennis player of all time. She built her legacy on habits, relentless training, consistent discipline, and a mindset that refused to accept limits. When you study her story, you realize it's not just about physical talent, it's about daily decisions. She left clues in every choice she made, every sacrifice, every moment she pushed through exhaustion to keep going. And let's not forget Steve Jobs. The co-founder of Apple wasn't just a tech genius. He was a man obsessed with simplicity, focus, and vision. While others chased too many ideas, Jobs developed the habit of eliminating distractions and pouring his energy into what mattered most. The result? He didn't just build products. He changed the way the world communicates, listens to music, and connects with technology. Here's the pattern. Success isn't a one-time event. It's not winning the lottery or stumbling into the right opportunity. It's the result of habits practiced daily, repeated relentlessly, and refined over time. The most successful people in America aren't superhuman. They just live by rules most of us ignore. But here's the catch. Those clues are hiding in plain sight. They're in the biographies, the interviews, the daily routines of these icons. And yet, most people never stop to study them. Most people get distracted by the surface-level story, the money, the fame, the highlight reel. But if you look deeper, you'll see the patterns that explain it all. Let me share something personal with you. When I first started studying success, I thought it was all about big, dramatic actions. Launching $1 million business overnight, making one risky move that changes everything. But the more I studied America's most successful people, the more I realized it's the opposite. It's not about the big moments. It's about the small habits that stack up over years. It's about the choices you make when nobody's watching. That's why this message is so important. Because if you're sitting there thinking, I'll never be like them. I don't have their connections. I don't have their money. I don't have their talent. You're missing the point. You don't need to be them. You just need to learn from them. Copy their patterns. Follow the map. Because success leaves clues, and if you're willing to pay attention, those clues can change your life. Imagine this. Every day, you wake up with clarity, focus, and discipline. You know exactly what to do, and you do it. Not once in a while, not when you feel like it, but every single day. That's the difference between drifting through life and designing your future. That's the power of habits. And here's the kicker. You're already living by habits. Every single day, you repeat behaviors, routines, and patterns. The only question is, are they leading you closer to your dreams or further away? The people who succeed in America aren't luckier than you. They just built habits that worked for them instead of against them. So as we dive into this journey together, I want you to keep one question in your mind. What clues can I steal from the greats and apply to my own life? Because if you're willing to look closely, you'll see them everywhere. In how they think, in how they move, in how they respond to setbacks, in how they spend their mornings, their evenings, even their downtime. Success isn't just about working harder. It's about working smarter, by following the proven path others have already walked. If success leaves clues, then this video is your chance to uncover them, decode them, and start applying them today. Because the truth is, the gap between you and the life you want isn't as wide as you think. It's just a few habits away. If success leaves clues, then the first clue is crystal clear. The habits you build will shape your future more than anything else. And the most successful people in America? They're masters of a few simple, repeatable habits that most people overlook. Let's break down the first three. Habit number 1. The habit of relentless learning. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men alive, spends nearly 80% of his day reading. Think about that. While most people are scrolling through social media or watching endless TV, Buffett is stacking knowledge like bricks, one page at a time. He once said, "The more you learn, the more you earn." That's not just a catchy phrase, that's his life. In America, opportunity is everywhere. But opportunity only belongs to the prepared. The people who rise to the top are the ones who constantly sharpen their minds. Bill Gates reads around 50 books a year. Oprah Winfrey has said that reading was her path to freedom. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by devouring books. Now, let's bring it back to you. You don't need to read 500 pages a day like Buffett. But what if you committed to 30 minutes? What if you chose to replace just 1 hour of Netflix a day with a book, a podcast, or an audiobook that stretched your mind? Do the math. That's 365 hours a year. That's the equivalent of a college-level education, just by reading consistently. Success leaves a clue here. The most successful Americans don't stop learning when school ends. They turn learning into a lifelong habit. Habit number 2. The habit of ruthless discipline. Think about Serena Williams. She didn't dominate the tennis world by accident. She built her career on discipline. Waking up early, training relentlessly, eating clean, sleeping well, repeating the cycle for decades. Every championship she won was already decided by the discipline she lived with when no one was watching. Discipline is a superpower. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And in a country like America, where distractions are everywhere, sports, entertainment, social media, instant gratification, discipline is the ultimate differentiator. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is another example. Before he became Hollywood's highest-paid actor, he was in the gym at 4 a.m., day after day, year after year. He calls it his anchor, the discipline of showing up. And you can see the results not just in his muscles, but in his career, his businesses, his brand. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people want success, but they don't want the discipline that comes with it. They want the body without the workouts, the business without the grind, the freedom without the sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. So ask yourself, what's one area of your life where you've been relying on motivation instead of discipline? Because motivation is temporary, but discipline builds empires. Habit number 3. The habit of thinking long-term. One of the biggest differences between successful people in America and everyone else is time perspective. Most people live for the weekend. They want instant gratification, fast food, quick money, immediate pleasure. But the successful? They think decades ahead. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is famous for his 10-year thinking. He once said, "If you're building a company, you need to be willing to be misunderstood for long periods of time." While others laughed at the idea of selling books online, Bezos was already planning how Amazon could become the everything store. He wasn't thinking about next week's profits. He was thinking about the next generation. The same goes for investing. Average Americans look for quick wins, get-rich-quick schemes, lottery tickets, crypto hype. But the wealthy? They invest for the long haul. They play the compounding game. That's how Warren Buffett built his empire, not by chasing the next hot stock, but by thinking in decades, not days. Even athletes like Tom Brady embody this. Playing into his mid-40s, he treated his body like a long-term investment, not a short-term thrill. While others partied in the off-season, he built a career that shattered records and turned him into a living legend. So here's your challenge. Zoom out. Where are you thinking short-term when you should be thinking long-term? Your money, your health, your career, your relationships, they all pay off massively if you start playing the long game. Here's what I want you to see. These habits aren't glamorous. Reading, discipline, long-term thinking, none of them look exciting on Instagram. but they're the foundation of every great American success story. And that's the clue. Most people look for shortcuts, hacks, and secrets. The most successful people stick to boring habits, practiced consistently, until they change their lives. So if you want to rise above, stop chasing shiny objects. Start building habits that compound. Because those small choices, what you read, how you show up, how far ahead you think, those are the choices that separate the average from the extraordinary. If the first three habits, learning, discipline, and long-term thinking, are the foundation, then the next set of habits are the fuel. These are the habits that give America's most successful people their edge, their energy, and their resilience in the face of challenges. Habit number 4. The habit of protecting energy. Here's a truth nobody talks about. Energy is more valuable than time. You can have all the hours in the world, but if you're drained, unfocused, and burned out, those hours are useless. Successful people in America know this, and they protect their energy like it's gold. Look at LeBron James. At 39 years old, still dominating in the NBA, he reportedly spends over $1 million a year on his body, nutritionists, trainers, recovery, sleep experts. Why? Because he knows his energy is his weapon. His career longevity isn't luck, it's a habit of consistently fueling his body and mind to perform at the highest level. Think about entrepreneurs too. Arianna Huffington, founder of the Huffington Post, collapsed from exhaustion in her office one day. That moment changed everything for her. She became an advocate for sleep and energy management, writing books and building businesses that emphasize rest, recovery, and wellness. Why? Because burnout kills success faster than failure ever will. Here's the clue. While most Americans run on coffee, stress, and sleepless nights, the successful prioritize sleep, exercise, and nutrition. They treat their bodies like high-performance machines. You don't need millions of dollars to do this. You can start small. 30 minutes of exercise, a consistent bedtime, clean fuel for your body. Protect your energy, and you'll be shocked at how much more productive, creative, and resilient you become. Habit number 5. The habit of building powerful networks. They say your network is your net worth. And nowhere is this truer than in America. The people at the top didn't get there alone. They built networks that lifted them higher. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak didn't build Apple in isolation. They had mentors, investors, and a Silicon Valley ecosystem around them. Oprah Winfrey built relationships that opened doors into television, film, and business. Even Barack Obama, before becoming president, built deep community connections that propelled his career forward. Networking isn't about collecting business cards. It's about building authentic relationships, helping others, creating value, and surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow. Mark Cuban, billionaire entrepreneur and owner of the Dallas Mavericks, often says that his best opportunities came not from what he knew, but from who he knew. And here's the thing. Average people in America often avoid networking because it feels uncomfortable or transactional. But the successful see it differently. They understand that every relationship is a seed. Some seeds sprout immediately, some take years, but over time, those connections multiply into opportunities you never saw coming. So here's your challenge. Who's in your circle? Are they pulling you up or dragging you down? If you want to be successful, start surrounding yourself with people who already are. Join groups, attend events, connect with mentors, and most importantly, give value first. The most successful Americans aren't just takers, they're givers. And that's why doors keep opening for them. Habit number 6. The habit of extreme focus. We live in the most distracted time in history. Notifications, emails, social media. Americans spend an average of 2.5 hours a day on social media alone. That's 912 hours a year gone. Do the math. That's over a month of your life wasted every single year, just scrolling. Now compare that to people like Elon Musk. Running multiple billion-dollar companies requires extreme focus. Musk is known for his time-blocking system, breaking his day into 5-minute chunks, dedicating full attention to one task at a time. While most people multitask and achieve nothing, he eliminates distractions and channels all energy into what matters most. Or take legendary investor Charlie Munger. He often said, "The big money is not in the buying or the selling, but in the waiting." That's extreme focus, ignoring noise, hype, and distractions, and keeping attention on long-term value. Focus is a superpower in America today because so few people have it. The successful make it a habit to cut out the noise. They delete apps, hire assistants, block time for deep work, and learn to say no. Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything." Here's the clue. If you want to build an extraordinary life, you need to get ruthless with your focus. Protect your attention like your life depends on it, because your success does. These 3 habits, protecting energy, building networks, and extreme focus, are the accelerators. They multiply the impact of everything else. Think about it like this. If discipline is the engine, energy is the fuel. If long-term thinking is the roadmap, focus is the steering wheel. And if learning is the foundation, networks are the scaffolding that take you higher. The question is, are you living these habits? Or are you living like the majority, burned out, disconnected, distracted? Because the gap between the successful and the unsuccessful isn't talent or luck. It's habits. And if you can master these, you'll already be living differently from 90% of the population. By now, you've seen how habits like discipline, energy management, networking, and focus shape the success stories of America's top achievers. But there are still a few more powerful habits. Habits that separate the good from the truly great. These are the ones that transform ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Habit number 7. The habit of relentless resilience. Here's the truth. Nobody gets to the top without falling flat on their face, sometimes publicly, sometimes painfully. The difference isn't that the successful avoid failure. It's that they refuse to stay down. They practice resilience until it becomes second nature. Think about J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a billion-dollar brand, she was rejected by 12 publishers. She was a single mother living on welfare in the UK, but her story became especially powerful in America, where Harry Potter exploded into cultural history. What separated her from countless others wasn't talent alone. It was her resilience in the face of rejection. Or take American sports. Michael Jordan, often called the greatest basketball player of all time, said it himself, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." Resilience isn't glamorous. It's showing up the day after you fail. It's standing tall after humiliation. It's choosing persistence when giving up feels easier. The successful in America don't fear failure. They train themselves to bounce back stronger every single time. Habit number 8. The habit of calculated risk-taking. Most people play it safe. They cling to comfort, job security, and predictability. But the most successful Americans? They make risk their ally. Not reckless risk, but calculated risk. Take Jeff Bezos. When he launched Amazon, the internet was still new. Most people thought online bookstores were silly. But Bezos took the risk. He left a stable Wall Street career, sold books online, and faced years of doubt and mockery. That risk turned into one of the most valuable companies in history. Or consider Elon Musk again. He took the money he made from PayPal and poured it all into SpaceX and Tesla, to the point where he almost went bankrupt. Everyone called him crazy. But those risks rewrote entire industries and made him one of the most influential figures in America. The clue here is simple. Success in America often lives just beyond the line of risk. The average person avoids uncertainty at all costs. The successful embrace it, study it, and bet on themselves. And yes, sometimes they fail. But the difference is, they keep playing the game, and eventually, those risks pay off. Habit number 9. The habit of daily execution. Here's something people rarely want to hear. Success isn't built in big, dramatic moments. It's built in small, consistent actions, executed daily. Look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's one of the hardest working entertainers in America. Movies, business ventures, wrestling, fitness, his empire is massive. But if you watch his routine, it's not magic. It's daily execution. Waking up at 4 a.m. to train, shooting content, working long hours, showing up no matter how tired he is. He doesn't rely on inspiration. He relies on habits. Or think about Serena Williams. Behind every championship win were thousands of early mornings, endless practice sessions, and daily discipline. What people see is the trophy. What they don't see is the execution that happened every single day for years. Average Americans often dream big, but fail to follow through. They wait for motivation, the right time, or perfect conditions. The successful know that motivation comes and goes, but habits, routines, and daily action are what create progress. Execution isn't glamorous. It's not Instagram-worthy most days. It's boring. It's repetitive, but it's also unstoppable. And that's why the successful do it while others quit. When you put these last habits together, resilience, risk-taking, and execution, you start to see a complete picture. Resilience gives you the strength to recover from setbacks. Risk-taking pushes you into new opportunities. Execution ensures you actually move forward every single day. Think about how powerful that combination is. An American who bounces back from failure, embraces risk, and executes daily is virtually unstoppable. That's why you see people from ordinary backgrounds rise to extraordinary heights, because they've wired these habits into their DNA. The truth is, none of these habits are out of reach. They're not reserved for billionaires, athletes, or celebrities. They're clues. Success leaves them behind for anyone willing to pick them up. The question is, will you? So now you've seen it. 9 habits, 9 clues, each one proven, tested, and lived out by the most successful people in America. And here's the truth. None of them are secrets. None of them are locked away behind closed doors or reserved for the lucky few. They're in plain sight, waiting for anyone who is brave enough to pick them up and make them their own. But here's where most people stop. They watch a video like this, they feel inspired, they nod along, maybe even write down a note or two, and then they go back to their old lives. Back to procrastination, back to excuses, back to comfort. Don't let that be you. Think about the stories you just heard. Oprah didn't start with power, she built it with discipline. LeBron didn't stay at the top for decades by accident. He invested in his energy. Elon Musk didn't change industries because he played it safe. He risked everything. And Dwayne Johnson doesn't dominate every field because of luck. He executes daily, no matter what. These people aren't superhuman. They're human, just like you. What makes them different is habits. That's it. Habits repeated so consistently that they turned into destiny. And now the question comes back to you. What will your habits say about your destiny? Will you live like the majority, distracted, tired, fearful, waiting for the right time that never comes? Or will you choose differently? Will you take these clues and start small, today, building your own unstoppable momentum? Because success isn't built in one dramatic leap. It's built in the quiet moments. The 5 a.m. wake up, the one extra page read, the single workout you didn't skip, the conversation you initiated, the risk you finally took. Success is built in the unseen hours when nobody's cheering, nobody's clapping, and nobody's watching. And one day, all of those unseen hours add up to something the world can't ignore. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture yourself 1 year from now. You've applied even half of these habits. You've disciplined yourself to focus. You've started taking risks. You've built energy, resilience, and consistency. Where could you be? Maybe it's a new career. Maybe it's financial freedom. Maybe it's a stronger body, a sharper mind, or a deeper sense of confidence. Whatever it is, I promise, it will be beyond where you are today. Now picture yourself 5 years from now. If you stay consistent, if you refuse to quit, if you keep stacking these habits day after day after day, your entire life could be unrecognizable. You could be living the dream that right now feels impossible. But here's the key. You have to start. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when conditions are perfect. Today. Right now. Because the clock is ticking, and every day you delay is a day you can't get back. This is your moment. This is your wake-up call. Don't just be a spectator of success stories. Become one. The most successful people in America left you clues. Now it's your turn to use them. So here's what I want you to do. Pick just one habit from this video. 1. Commit to it for the next 30 days. Maybe it's waking up earlier. Maybe it's cutting out distractions. Maybe it's exercising, networking, reading, or taking a risk you've been avoiding. Just one habit. Do it daily. No excuses. No negotiations. Just action. Because once you prove to yourself that you can do one, you'll unlock the confidence to do more. And before you know it, your entire identity will shift. You won't just be chasing success, you'll be living it. This is your story. This is your chance. Don't waste it. Push play on your potential. Step into the habits that create greatness. And remember, Success always leaves clues. The only question is, will you follow them? If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Comment below on the habit you're committing to today. And if you're ready for more daily motivation, subscribe right now, because your journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning. Your future is waiting. Make it unstoppable.